Okay, so let's look at one more that's a little bit different. In this case, there's a rectangle where only part of it is colored in, right? So I can see that there's an outside rectangle. Here it is. I'm going to do this one in green. And part of it is colored blue. What we need to do on this one is select all the representations that represent the area of the shaded rectangle. I want to know the area of the blue rectangle, not the green rectangle, the blue rectangle. Okay, so I can think about how I got the times problems inside, or I could redraw this rectangle down below, and I think that's what I'm going to do because it really helps me see what's inside. So I can see that it's 4 tall, so I'm going to make it 4 tall and write a 4 on the side. I can see that it's 7 long, so I'm going to make it 7 long. Whoops, wrong color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to make it 7 long. All right, so that's from here to here is 7. All right, and then to make it be a rectangle, I just copy on the top and I copy on the side. All right, but then I'm also noticing that there's that white part inside, and it's 2 long. So I'm going to make it just 2 long on that side and write in a 2 here. Okay, and I'll even color some of it blue to make it really match. Seeing the squares on the inside helps me think about what gets represented better than not having the squares on the inside. The more you do this, the easier the ones without the squares on the inside are. All right, so let's take a look at what doesn't make sense. If we look at this picture, we can see that on the right-hand side, we have 2, 2, 2, 2. That's 4 repeats of 2. So on the right-hand side, that must be 4 times 2. Okay, I'm going to make that green one on the top come back. Move that down just a little bit there. Okay, but what about on the left? What about the blue part? The blue part looks like it should be 4 times 7, but it can't be 4 times 7 because the 7 includes the white part. So if I'm just going to count the blue going across, let's grab maybe a different color. I think it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's 5. It's not 7. So I'm going to write repeats of 5, 5, 5, 5. Yeah, this isn't 4 repeats of 7. It's 4 repeats of 5. So if it's 4 repeats of 5, the times problem for this one is 4 times 5. All right, so inside we see a 4 times 5 and a 4 times 2. So it can't be the first one. The first one says 4 times 7 and 4 times 2. It's not 4 times 7. Okay, so I don't see in this list 4 times 5 and 4 times 2. This is the one that I don't see. 4 times 5 plus 4 times 2. This would be a correct answer, but it's not in the list. Okay. Let's see. What about I'm starting to see a pattern. Some of these have minuses in them. All right. So a minus means takeaway. So let's look at which ones have a minus. We're looking at the green one has a minus, the blue one has a minus, and that pink one has a minus. All right, so minus means takeaway. So I'm wondering, taking a look at this entire thing, could we do a takeaway to talk about just the blue part? And I think we could. If we got a scissors out and we cut right on this red line, if we took away this white part, we'd be left with just the blue part. So to be able to take away, I need to know the total area. So if I was looking at the total area of this rectangle, I'd be talking about the blue plus the white. let's go back and do that here. I'd be talking about the blue plus the white. So if it's blue plus the white, then we're looking at 5 in blue, 2 in white. That's 5 plus 2. That's 7 across. Hey, that's that number down below. All right, so I'm going to replace that 5 and the 2 with 7. 7 and a 7 and a 7 and a 7. So if I'm looking at the area of the whole green rectangle, I'm going to write this out. The green rectangle is 4 times 7. So if I want the area of just the blue part, then I would need to take away, whoa, wrong part there, Ms. Toivola. Whoa. Get a grip here. The green rectangle is 4 times 7. So if I want just the blue rectangle, then I need to take away the white part. Got to work on my notability skills here, I think. If I'm going to take away just the white part, then I need a representation for the white part. I know that there are 8 white squares. But the multiplication problem for the white part, we did that a couple times, is 4 times 2. So let's take a look at what we have for an option here. We could start with the whole green rectangle, which was 4 times 7, and then cut off the white part, which is 4 times 2. That's a takeaway. That's the green one. The green one is a true statement. If we took the whole rectangle, 4 times 7, and we took away the white rectangle, we'd be left with the blue. So that one is right. Okay? So what about, let's see, what about the blue one? The blue one here says 4 times 7 minus 2. Let's see if we can figure out where 7 minus 2 would be. Well, the 7 is down here on the bottom. That was the entire distance across. So if we have 7 minus 2, 7 minus 2, well, that's like taking away rows of white. So 7 minus 2 is 5. There we go. This is what it's saying. If I took the whole distance across and I took away the white part, then I'd be left with the 5 across for the blue. So notice this problem of 4 times 7, right? Let's see, what did it say here? This was the blue one. It's 4 times 7 minus 2, but what we ended up doing, instead of saying 4 times 7, take away 4 times 2, we said, let's do the 7 minus 2 first. So we put that in parentheses. If you do the 7 minus 2 first, you're left with 4 groups of 5. So this representation is also correct. And I'll put a big check mark next to it. 4 times 7 minus 2. That is also correct. But if you look inside the blue rectangle right now, we see 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. We see 4 groups of 5. 4 groups of 5 is the same as 4 times 5. So this one is also correct. That's the yellow one. All right, so we need to check. It looks like there are a couple more to look at. There's the pink one. Hey, the pink one has minus. The pink one has minus. Maybe this one is right. Let's think about what this would mean. If I did the parentheses first, this says 8 take away, 4 times 7. I know that's a tricky one for a lot of people. That says 8 take away 28. So let's see where that might be. Well, the 8 is clearly in the white part, right? So there are 8 little white squares. So if I start with those 8 squares, I can't take away 28. 28 was all of the squares inside the green rectangle. I can't take away 28. I only have 8. So that one doesn't make sense. The pink one doesn't make sense. Cross that one out. Okay, there's 2 left. There's the orange one, and there's that kind of indigo one. That one says 4 times 7 plus 2. Ooh, 4 times 7 plus 2. So let's take a look at where the 4 times 7 is. 4 times 7 would mean this whole rectangle, right? But if it's 7 plus 2, That means down on the bottom here, I'd need to add 2 more. Not take away 2, I'd need to add 2 more. So I'd be adding on this part here, right? So it would be this entire thing. So if we look at that one on top, that doesn't look the same because that entire distance across, 7 plus 2 is 9. So we now have kind of a stretched out rectangle. This whole way across is now 9. So this is a very different rectangle. That's why the indigo one doesn't work. And what about this one in orange? It says 4 times 7 times 2. All right. We already know what 4 times 7 looks like. 4 times 7 is that green rectangle. So if I was going to do 4 times 7, I'm going to get rid of some stuff here so we've really got space. 4 times 7, take that rectangle, copy it. Let's try that again. Take that rectangle, copy it. Oh, is Miss Toivola going to be able to figure out how to do this? There we go. Copy it. 4 times 7, and then times 2 means add it on again. This is what 4 times 7 times 2 looks like. That is very clearly a different rectangle, a gigantic rectangle. So that orange one doesn't work either. All right. I think the rectangles where you have some empty space inside and you have to figure out the colored part, that is just a little bit trickier to think about. But this one up on top, the one with the pluses, that one was a little bit easier to think about. We're trying to find the area of the outside as opposed to trying to find the area of just part of that rectangle. We're going to do lots of practice with this. A reminder, this is just part 1, right? As we move forward through the parts, you'll also start to see some variables come up as well.